Hi, Subhashini. Hi, everyone who's joining us today live. We have Subhashini Sharma Tripathi, who happens to be a chief data scientist at this young company called Pexi. Subhashini also is an author. She has written her book, which is titled "Learn Business Analytics in 6 Steps Using SAS and R." Subhashini has been an educator and she trains and teaches at various universities, which include Symbiosis University in India, Manipal University, Sri Balaji University, and she's also training multiple corporates in on the subject of analytics and data science. So welcome on board, Subhashini. We are glad to have you.
Yeah, lovely to be here, Sandeep. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Data science is a very interesting and hot topic, right? Which almost every leading consulting firm or leading organization talks about.
Yes.
And when you think of okay, data is important, but we've joined the name scientist to it. So when you listen to the word scientist, you feel that it's going to be some sort of a geek, right? Of course, when I meet you, I don't get that feeling. But my question to you would be that what are the traits of a data scientist? Are data scientists also, similar sort of geeks or just curious people, who want to dig deep into information? So what are the traits of a data scientist?
Data science, Sandeep, it's grown as a field, and like you rightly pointed out, and there is a lot of stress on being able to make sense of the data. When the volume of data goes up and the volume of data is going up, not only are we creating data on all our social media, on different websites, our chats with customers, videos in every store we go, name it, we are creating data, but also our machines creating data. So even when we sleep, our systems are beeping out our GPRS locations, updating our inboxes. So there's a lot of data that's getting created um, by the individuals, by companies, and by machines, right? And this explosion in data is yielding very less if we are not able to do something with it. So it's like they say, data is the new oil. Oil is not new, right? In the sense that oil was there from time immemorial. It's only when we've been able to extract the crude, change it into diesel or petrol, have vehicles which have been able to use this diesel and petrol to really add value to business supply chains, etc., that oil has become so valuable, right? And that's exactly what we need to do with data. It is a scientific methodology, if I can so say, to be able to gain value for business. And therefore, four traits which come up: understanding the business problem, okay, being able to find a solution. Finally, when the analytics happens, once the data management, etc., is done, the solution has to be conveyed back to the business also. And then, of course, the middle part, which is your data management, as well as the statistical inferencing, machine learnings that you are going to do. Okay. So I think what makes data science unique is the fact that you've got to have a scientific temperament, in terms of, you're going to look at an evidence-based thought process. You need to have tech skills, which are going to help you turn this data into models and outcomes which business can use. And you need to have enough business understanding that you can understand the problem plus give them a solution. And I think
Absolutely.
that's the amazing part about it, that sometimes there are people who are good with the business and the communication part. Sometimes there are people who are very good with the technology, and this is what's going to make data science so unique as a profession.
Interesting. Of course, one is people opting for data science as a career. Second is organizations, whether big or small. They also deal with a lot of data. I mean, customer data, employee data. You know, uh, data with regards to customer behavior or customer, segregation of customers into different categories and identifying who's the right customer. What would you suggest businesses, that why data science is important, and what should they do to use the information that is already with them? How can they intelligently manage the data with or without a data scientist?
Okay, that's really nice because what you brought to the forefront is this movement which we are seeing called the emergence of the citizen data scientist. You know, so if you look back about a few decades back, you had dedicated people who were called drivers. And they used to be taking you and your family around. They were not only understood to have an understanding of the vehicle that they were commanding, they also understood the lay of the land. They knew a bit about the roads, the directions. They could speak a few languages, all to facilitate the movement of passengers, right?
Mhm.
But what has happened now that with Google Maps, with these higher end cars with less likelihood to break down, you know we have each one of us has turned into a driver, and we're doing pretty well, right? Except for the 20% of the time when we need mechanical help, when there's a breakdown, when there's some very tough terrain that we need to go in, we can manage. And that's what we're finding in data science, that from the time when it was seen that you need to be an MSc stats, you need to be an engineer, only then can you manage all this. We are seeing that with software as a service becoming so much more common, with a common level of mathematical understanding being taught to students as I mean, in the Indian education system, I see children in class 6 being told about you using addition, subtraction, profit, loss as part of their curriculum. So what is going to happen, and what I foresee is going to happen, is that with just a little bit of tweak, a bit of orientation, like we all do, like we're going to pass our driving test, right? We cannot start driving until we don't do our driving test. Similarly, with just that small bit of intervention, a lot many more of us should be able to make use of these apps, these softwares, and come up with really intelligent solutions from the data.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And therein I do foresee that we will all, most of us at least, will start picking up some knowledge around how to manage and use the data and the softwares that help us make sense of this data.
Absolutely. You've dealt with multiple organizations. You would have worked with a lot of organizations, helping them organize their data in an intelligent manner. Could you share some examples in terms of how the usage of data science is has created a positive P&L impact in an organization?
I think yes, as part of the projects that I've done, the full-time roles that I've handled in various financial services and banks, I noticed that a lot of emphasis actually goes on in the sales and marketing department. So there I see that the business is very, very willing to invest that extra amount of energy and money to ensure that data gives them an edge, right? So who can I cross sell which product to? Can What is the ROI of a particular customer? If I have limited abilities to reach, how do I come to the segment of customers which are going to react positively to my messages? So basically drive effectiveness of business processes. You're still using the same processes. You're still sending emails, you're still sending messages, you're still doing telephone calls, but how to ensure that I get the maximum returns on each one of this? I'm still hiring. So our company, Pexi, People Excellence Indicator Analytics, we have our own set of assessments and surveys. And we find that, we use the analytics, we use smart technology to ensure that within 40 minutes, you can understand if a person fits a particular job or not. Once you look at the data for multiple people, you can understand your type of person. The guy who's going to stay in your company for long. Because not only do you want to hire right today, you want to retain him for some time. So once you figured out what your business goals are, business analytics does become one of the easy ways to achieve some of these goals, and these goalposts shift. We have to understand that it's not that today you do it and then that's it. As my customer engagement increases, I'm also sourcing new customers. So as the new customers come in, how can I slot them? Which location should I go in? Which places can I put up shops, and what type of channels should I advertise in? All of these become important drivers of business efficiency, and I find that data science is used exceedingly in all of these. So I've worked around projects in people management, in supply chain analytics, to do predictions, to optimize between transportation versus warehouses. So I've got 1600 warehouses. I've got so many trucks who take my products from the plant to the warehouse, from the warehouse to the end customer, which are finally dealers. So it's still a B2B. Should I keep 1600 warehouses, or should I increase the number of trucks, reduce the number of warehouses? These types of optimization problems, efficiency problems, analytics does help us in all of this.
So basically you're taking informed decisions, and you've observed past patterns, and based on that you identify the right solution. You're closer to the right solution.
Yes, and I always like to think about it that, Stanford used to have this term which it had started, and of course it's not a new term. It's called evidence-based management. So I believe that all of this is actually an extension of that one concept of evidence-based management. Statistics is not new. The kings used to use it to understand when they could go for war. Were there adequate number of soldiers present, young people to take on activities, enough grains to last them for the time of war. So it's always been there. The implementation has changed because now we've got technology. The world has become a village, and we have just so many locations to optimize, so many types of constraints and opportunities that we want to maximize. I think that's all leading us to use this evidence-based management philosophy, over and over again and in many different ways.
Interesting. I was reading the World Economic Forum report, the Future of Jobs report, and it said that the number one highest paying job of tomorrow is that of a data scientist. Right? Why is it so? I mean, why is this particular job so valuable, and are organizations recognizing the value of it? Hi, Subhashini, could you hear me?
Couldn't hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me now? Are we good?
Yes, I can hear you now. Tell me.
I said that I was reading the World Economic Forum report on the future of jobs, and it very explicitly mentioned that the highest paid and the most valuable job of tomorrow will be that of a data scientist. I know larger organizations value it. Larger organizations need this data science division in their respective functions. But are other organizations, the small and medium enterprises or other large organizations which may not have a data science division, are they really seeing the future potential of having a data science division in the organization?
Even if they do not aspire to their own data science division, they do aspire that their crop of new joinees, new managers are able to use some of the tools to help with better decisioning on the basis of data. So I'll give you an example. If you look at it, a lot of people might tell you that Google Analytics is not data science per se, because Google has given you a platform. It's allowing you to see the reports and so on and so forth. It sort of structures you how to approach an analysis. That is true, but you see, even if you know or you see those reports, what do you make out of it, right? How do you interpret it? What is the outcome that you wish to, is your organizational digital strategy taking you in the right direction? Is your site optimized? Do you find your customers liking certain types of content on your system? Being able to take this type of information out of what can I mean, a lot of people say is just a tool. It also requires an appreciation of the data. Okay. And therefore that's something which we see that even the should we say the people who have small businesses and who may not be looking at very advanced data science teams to help them, they are also taking help from certain solutions which incorporate data science, which incorporate analytics to come to some conclusions. And I think the best example is the Excel itself. Excel has really advanced as a tool, it started giving you free add-ins which enable you to understand correlations, which enable you to take out basic regression models. Now, yes, this, a typical data science team would do it on a coded language in Python, R, SAS, etc. But it is not that the efficiency of math changes by the tool, right? So that's what I feel. Small businesses are also looking at, because they cannot afford standalone roles around data science, they look at people who can have this capability as a part of a combination of skills.
Absolutely. No, definitely,
Yes.
definitely. So many tools that we use, which may be like, for example, Google Analytics, Facebook advertisements. They are so in depth, with data, and there's so much analytics that you see with every information that you see. What is the geographical location of the people who are visiting my site, or what is the persona of the person who I want to target, for growing my business. Now, the other aspect that is of people who are looking at careers in building a career in data science. I will read out this very interesting quote of the chief economist at Google, Hal Varian, who's also a professor at UC Berkeley. He says that the ability to take data, to be able to understand it, to process it, to extract value from it, to visualize it, communicate it. That's going to be a hugely important skill in the next decades. Right now, this is at a high level. Now, if somebody is looking at starting afresh and studying the essential subjects to become a data scientist, and second is a person who's already in the career, maybe in technology or maybe a data analyst, what are the essential skills that one requires to become a data scientist?
If we look at skills, they broadly fall into four parts. The role, you have rightly pointed out, requires you to, one, understand a business problem. Understand a business problem to convert it into some sort of a machine learning, data science, statistical problem, right? The second part becomes the data management. You've got so many sources of data. I still remember when I joined GE in 2002, we used to have an inter-company chat system even then. But today what's happened in lots of companies, WhatsApp, etc., have become the inter-company chat systems, right? So what's happening is that we are capturing and we are using so many tools today for communication, for interactions. So managing the data, being able to figure out what's important for which project. The third part becomes using the statistical driven models and tools on this data to conclude on it, right? To be able to give us some sort of model, some sort of equations which help us to understand that what exactly is the data saying. And then finally, being able to convert this statistical understanding, this output from data science or machine learning or analytics into business language, that what does it mean therefore? So does it mean we should avoid a certain type of customer, or does it mean we should spend more time on certain types of customers and certain processes? Being able to do all these four things becomes important in data science. Therein again, I would want to tell you that that's what makes this field interesting. It cannot be monotonous. It's never monotonous. Every problem would have a different type of solution. Every mystery, it's fun solving it. Even two companies who come with you with the same problem never have the same data. So it is extremely interesting, but like most interesting things, like most it does require a certain amount of hard work. It does require being flexible and open to learning. Okay. Simply because it contains both sides of the coin, the software side and the statistics also. It also contains the ability to understand a business problem and to give a business solution to that, at least a recommendation which the business will understand.
Interesting. I see so much passion in you for the subject of data science. I saw the course that you did on edVentr platform as well, the data science boot camp. It just oozes out. There's so much of passion for the subject. How did how did you choose this as a line, for your career? You even founded a company in the same field. What prompted you to take this decision?
I think, Sandeep, I will be very grateful to the first place I went in for a job, which was GE Money. And the financial services industry in 2002, data science analytics weren't courses. You had applied statistics at an ISI, etc. But these weren't lines of learning at that point, at least at college level. So when I did my MBA and joined G Money, and they were just setting up a unit to start off on their analytics. And their requirement was simple: are you open to learning, and do you like maths? And if you're okay with both of this, we'd like you to try it out. And I think as a part of curiosity, as a part of the fact that I genuinely thought that we could take out solutions using statistics, I joined in, and it's proved it's really proved to have been a very good career for me. I've really enjoyed myself till now. I've progressed from it was a very interesting time. At that time, people I reported into did not know data science, so but they knew business very well. So they would tell you, see, what you're giving me is not right, but they could not tell you how to make what you're done right. So that led to a lot of learning. It helped, I think, over a period of time. It helped me synthesize a process which has been the reason for my first book, Learn Business Analytics in 6 Steps Using SAS and R. And it gave a clarity on the amazing ways to solve problems. In maths, you can touch your nose directly or put your hand around your head and touch your nose, and it's one and the same as long as you touch your nose and solve the problem.
What I
So
understand or deduce from it is that a you have to have a mathematical bent of mind, some inclination towards mathematics. You have to have a curious mind. I mean, you would want to dig more information about any topic, subject, or information, and of course, you have to be analytical, right? So if you have these sort of traits, then data science is a probable career option for a person, right?
Yes. If there's somebody who doesn't enjoy the maths part of it, even then, there is a branch of data science called visualization and cognitive intelligence, which is where all the reporting happens. So if you're
Mhm.
good with, creating a story, you enjoy delving into the data to create a story, but you may not really want to go forward with advanced statistical concepts. Even then, I think you can look at data science as a career, especially in the space of cognitive intelligence and visualization.
Perfect. So I know Excel is essential. Knowledge of Excel is essential to become a scientist. Are coding, proficiency on coding languages, is that also a prerequisite?
Sandeep, I would not even say that knowledge of Excel is a prerequisite, or essential. Excel is just the most common software out there, because all of us have Windows on our system. Any software of your choice, be it Excel, be it R, SAS, Python, perhaps an engineer may find that Python is an easier software for him. So it's up to you. As see, the great part with maths is that 2 plus 2 is always 4. So you use Excel, you use SAS, R, Python, you're not going anywhere. It'll always come to the same answer. I think that's one of the things which has meant that an average data scientist could use 4 to 5 languages, as they go through a project, because it just depends on the on their comfort, on your customers' requirement. So I think, as I said, openness to learning, this confidence that you're out to solve a mystery, and you know and it's going to be a very interesting ride, even if sometimes your projects don't get implemented, which does happen. Sometimes the model says that living life without a model is a better way, so statistically proven that models cannot be built on this data. So all these are very interesting turns in the life of a data science person.
So a detective bent of mind is also useful if you're becoming a data scientist.
Yes, yes.
Interesting. So one
Uh,
last question, Subhashini. So you've co-founded this company. You're the chief data scientist of Pexilits and Pexi Score.
yes.
Tell us something about what your company does.
Pexitics, as I mentioned to you, we are People Excellence Indicator Analytics. And our aim is that we believe that we can improve business results by looking at the people aspect of business, being able to measure them and their inclinations in a way which is a bit different. From what we are used to. So it's very unfortunate, I find that we use people pretty much, and we track data around people pretty much similar to the way we track data around our machine assets. The day you join in, what is the salary you take, the number of days of leave or downtime you have, and then when you exit it, right? Any improvements, promotions, etc. I mean, it's done very mechanically. And I do believe if we could look at people as an evolving space, like have a different talent database for people, where we can see that as each one of the people who have joined us, what were the things that, how well did they fit the jobs that they came in for in terms of behavior, psychometry, as well as skills. How did they mature? Did they, and therefore take decisions of promotions, etc., as well as learning and development for them on the basis of their maturity and their gaps, not only on the level or the position or the team in which they are in. So if we could customize these small things for the teams we work with, uh, it is our belief that the outcomes would benefit customers or rather companies exceedingly. In fact, it's not our thought process. You must have heard about employee experience driving customer experience, which drives profitability, right? So everyone says that where the employees are most happy, where the employees are most engaged, those companies that they ensure that they go out of their way to keep their customers happy, and then profits rise. So that's been the thought process for us, and we have built our assessments and surveys with the same thought process, that it should be implementable, at all levels. Not only it should not be so expensive, etc. So that, but it should be highly accurate, highly statistically driven, real time, so that people managers can, make good people decisions, which of course drive the business thereof.
I mean, I've seen your assessment, and I've realized how these assessments really help you understand not only yourself, but even, let's say, if you're a line manager, to understand the strengths, weaknesses, and the behavioral patterns of your team, so that you can engage with them, motivate them, or find solutions along with them accordingly. And this is so useful, which the human mind may not be able to comprehend, but so many data points can give you that correct answer. But as you rightly said, employee experience leads to customer
Absolutely.
experience and hence profitability. So it is the
Yes.
core of any organization. And on that note, I would like to thank you, Subhashini. This has been a very interesting conversation, and would just like to inform everybody that Subhashini is an expert along with edVentr on the subject of data science, and we have launched a course on data science along with Subhashini. Is maybe Subhashini, two lines on the course if you would like to share.
Thanks, Sandeep. Yes, it's a pleasure being here. We have this course, which is an introduction to data science with Excel. Our thought process was that even for people who have not got a formal degree in the, science or management, but have an inclination towards evidence-based management, wish to pursue this, we could give them a, course which would enable them to start using numbers and benefit from the usage of numbers, which are now so easily available to all of us.
Thank you, Subhashini.
Thank you,
And
Sandeep. It's always a pleasure.